Yo, Zaki's here, the guy that always tells you to take charge and be in charge, and I will not stop with that. Because it's really important for you to understand that when you are in charge, all the problems that you think you are avoiding by conforming are just gonna fade away into a realm that is so far from you that you won't even be able to understand where those fears, those inner thought that always told you to conform even come from. And I guess this is also the topic of the video this time. It's about fear and how you can counteract fear. And I think you already heard that. And when you haven't heard that before, it's really important for you to understand that you can always counteract fear with love. And that's really important to understand that. Love is what counteracts the fears that you have. And it might be all sorts of fears. I don't even want to go into that because you definitely know that in certain situations you might feel like you're masking, like you're portraying something else, somebody else. And sometimes you know that it's just fear, but fear isn't real. Love is. And when you understand that, everything becomes way easier. In my last video, I've talked about how the fear of being seen can hinder you to pursue something that might be close and dear to your heart. And there we also have the problem. The fear is so strong, it counteracts your desire, and you don't want it to counteract your desire. So you will need to confront it. Even if you are an empty void at the moment, and I really mean that. I know that there are people out there that feel like an empty void because they think they have no personality, because they think they are not real individuals, because they have been programmed to conform to societal expectations or to the expectations of others, of their peer groups, of their family, so on. So they get lost in that. But there's a little sprinkle, a little spark in their heart that gave them the information that they might be alive. And there is something in there, like a compass. But the compass right now does not have any orientation. This is what you think. And that's really important to understand. You only think that the compass has no orientation. I think some of you will definitely understand where we're going for now, because we have already established that love is counteracted by fear. So when love is counteracted by fear, I want you to write down what you are actually afraid of. And you can definitely figure out what you are afraid of. Maybe you're afraid of guys like me. That's something different, but that also has to do with your programming. um, then I would suggest to pursue guys like me and maybe try to befriend guys like me, whatever that means. I mean, this statement is so free of interpretation that everybody that is watching this video might have a completely different notion. And I don't even want to limit it at this point. Just take it as it is for you. When it comes to your actual goals and what your inner desires are, you definitely understand that there are some things that are holding you back. And it is no coincidence that when you look into like public speakers and other people, for example, in the public realm, that a lot of them had severe anxiety, and a lot of them were very afraid to speak, to be in public, but they pursued this anyway. They went against their fears, because there is where your heart lies. There is where the love is. So now you will understand. There might be a challenge in front of you right now, and you are afraid of that. And the reason you are afraid of that is because the fear is trying to pull you away from that. The fear is really coming in, the anxiety, it wants to put you in a stagnant position in which you doubt yourself, in which you don't understand that this fear is normal. Because the more your heart desires something, the more fear there is. So you will need to lean into that fear. You will need to be comfortable with that emotion. And here I got a great example, because I think this example might actually be something that can motivate some of y'all out there. So, I've always loved stand-up comedy, and I've loved those comedians, the way they communicate, engage the crowd, memorize, and even how they come up with quick counters. Obviously, all those things don't just come from, yeah, I want to stand up one day and become a massive stand-up comedian. They go through a brutal phase of practice, to thousands of open mics. That's the thing that people don't see. They start out maybe shy, maybe hindered, maybe not that good in remembering, or even not that sharp in replies. But they work on that, they work on that, they work on that relentlessly, because they believe that one day they will have a large enough skill base to market themselves for a large audience. And this is actually how you should look into this, to be honest. Like, it is normal, okay? You always need to go to this development phase. You have already done that in life. It doesn't matter in which situation. There were certain things that you were interested in. You had some sort of anxiety. You overcame that anxiety, and then you pursued it anyways, and you succeeded. And it doesn't matter if it's like a small thing, like attaining your driver's license or something. It's the same simple steps. You work, you get the results. When it comes to your driver's license, you believed in that. When it comes to yourself, the desire that you want to have for being in this realm, in this life, you do not believe in that? Now let's talk about how to use fear as your compass to accomplish your goals, your desires, and to even figure out your desires. Like, fear is such a great thing when you think about that. I want you to be honest to yourself. And I know it's really hard. In these days in which we are confronted with so much information, with so many different lifestyles of so many different individuals around the world, it is hard to actually understand what exactly is the thing that I might need to strive for, or what is my desire. Or you might think I have too many desires, but I can tell you those things line up, and it seems completely ridiculous. But let me finish. Everything has already been done. So to accomplish whatever you have, however high the bar is, and I guess when you are in this video, it's something about attaining freedom, mental clarity, and good health. Here are simple steps. First of all, I want you to write down, what are you afraid of? What occupation, what career pursuit, what travel destination, whatever are you afraid of? In this case, it's all about understanding why are you afraid of those things. And in most cases, it's because you actually want that, but fear is pulling you back. So you write down, for example, you want to fly to Thailand, you want to chill in the sun. And I'm not talking like a typical holiday. I mean, just be there for maybe even a few months and look into yourself. But there are so many things that you are afraid of. What about my job? What about my current existence? My friends, my peers, what about those people? What will they think about me when I pursue this destination? It shouldn't matter in the first place, but just write those fears down. You have your destination set, Thailand. And the next, I want you to take some sort of personality test. Be honest. Take that personality test, and you will be surprised about the result. The result always aligns with your fears. It's just how it is. Some people are afraid to be leaders for some reason, because maybe when they grew up, they had to give up so much responsibility to their parents because their parents were extremely controlling. But their personality types tell them you are a leader, you're a natural leader. So they will need to get rid of those fears and align with their calling. It is as simple as that. So after this video, I really want you to look into yourself, to figure out, what am I afraid of? And then just try to write those things down, depending on what the destination should be in the moment. Afterwards, some random online personality test. I'm not even saying anyone, just do some of them. Like, just do it. You will see your personality will align with your destination, with your occupation, career, with your place to live, and therefore, just chillax, trust the process. If you want to be part of the new movement, join my Telegram group below, and don't be afraid of fear.